Good afternoon. How are you? I'm Russ Curry from Curious Music. Thank you for joining me. I am in the Curio Lab in beautiful Coralville, Iowa. Fall is in the air, harvest is in full effect, and it's a gorgeous sunny day. Today I'm going to I feel like an influencer because I have my little iPhone stand there. Very exciting. I'm going to attempt to do an unpacking video. I haven't done that before, and my favorite thing is not making videos with me in it. But this is such a really a special release that I wanted to spend just a couple minutes with you and show you what we have. And of course, I'm talking about Lunz, the 20th anniversary special edition release of Lunz by Tim Story and Hans-Joachim Roedelius. Those who know him call him Achim, and many do know him and are immediately his friend. And most that meet him seem to end up recording albums with him as well. Just joking, sort of. So let's start with talking about Lunz and the history of how that came together. This is actually, so it's 20th anniversary, first came out in 2002. It's the first song base released by Tim and Achim, but it's actually the second release of theirs. The first is this right here. It's actually quite rare. It's a Roedelius story, The Persistence of Memory. It's a little CD there, and it's signed by Tim and Achim. There was only 400 copies of this, and it's a little bit hard to get. I think I have like 2 or 3, and I think Tim might have some if you want to take a look at timstory.com. It comes in at just under an hour. It's one piece of music. It's sort of a concrete music type of thing, very abstract, very interesting, but much different than some of the work that both Tim and Achim are known for in their more piano-based records. This is not one of those. That actually came out in late '99 off of the tour that I took. Achim and his daughter Rosa came along in 1999. We went all over North and South America in my little black Volkswagen Golf. When I write my autobiography, The Genius of Russ Curry, that tour will not be one of the chapters. But we had a great time. We played CDs for each other in my little golf and music. I played him this brilliant masterpiece by Madonna and William Orbit, too, who produced it, Ray of Light, which is a great album. And it always sounded a little clustery to me. So we were in the Rocky Mountains in Denver at sunset one evening. You can just imagine how beautiful that was. And I popped that in and I said to Achim, this sounds cluster influenced. And we listened to it. Gorgeous album, especially if you can listen to it all at once. When it was over, he said, Russell, that sounds like a cluster album with Madonna singing. And a little postscript to that, about 6 months ago, I emailed William Orbit and told him that story and asked him that question. I said, am I detecting a little thread of that in there? And he said, you are correct, sir. And told me that After the Heat was the Eno Mobius Roedelius album was a big influence on him when he was first starting out. We also listened to on that tour works by Charles Ives. I played Achim, The Unanswered Question in Central Park in the Dark. Charles Ives is somebody you should check out as well. And also Variations for a Door and a Sigh by Pierre Henry. And yes, that is an hour's worth of concrete music. Yes, it includes exclusively the sound sources of a door and a sigh. And it is actually quite a wonderful piece of music. And if you listen closely, maybe you can hear Mr. Henry or Mr. Ives and Monsieur Henry in here a little bit. You got to listen close, but they might just be there. So that's their first project they did together, Tim and Achim. Wasn't meant to be. It was just something they were doing at Tim's studio, and it came to be. Their second, and here is the beautiful 20th anniversary, first ever vinyl issue of Lunz. This is their second project. And people sometimes ask why, and this is a case in point, Tim's name is first, and say, Russ, R comes before S. It should be Roedelius' story. Well, they switch each release. So this one is Story Roedelius. And for example, Inlandish, this is another beautiful one here. This in red translucent vinyl that we put out about 3 years ago. This one's Roedelius' story. It just happened to pop up there like that. So here's the vinyl version. This comes out, I'm speaking on October 16th, I think, 17th? I should know that. October 17th, we'll say. And it comes out October 26th, which is Joachim's 88th birthday. And the early lower number art print editions will be at More or Less at Joachim's Festival at Baden-Baden, Austria. And I was just this morning looking at what they have planned in the schedule, and it is fascinating. I wish I didn't hate flying so much. I would go. Maybe I'll swim over there sometime. So this is the vinyl. We have 4 different collector's covers of the CD too. I'll get to those in a minute, but I want to show you the vinyl here. I have pre-removed the shrink wrap. I hope you don't mind. So this is the cover, the front cover. The original photography, I believe, was by Jurgen Drenth, a good friend of Joachim, someone who I know as well. I actually had beers in a pub with him one day with wooden floor and chickens running around. So there you have it. And then there's the Lunz oval and a moth, which doesn't actually exist. This is a Franken moth created by Mr. Story. So if you go in your backyard to look for it, or one of those places that have a bunch of butterflies, you probably won't see this because it doesn't really exist. I think Photoshop helped him along with that. So these are printed in spot color. It's a little hard to see, but it's really nice looking. So that's the cover of the vinyl version. And the back cover here with a spot gloss and the little moth flying this time. Very beautiful minimalist cover. I think Tim took that picture maybe. And then Sebastian Bokin did all of the redesign, including designing the 4 CDs from scratch. And he deserves a great deal of credit for how beautiful this release has come out. And you can see even more here. Here's the inside, the gatefold sleeve with 3 fantastic pictures taken by Christina Marta Roedelius, one of the great unsung people in the Roedelius cluster, Harmonia, etc. story. She took these great photos. She also took the cover photos for After the Heat by Eno Mobius Roedelius and Zoe Zoso and a bunch of other stuff. So, she too is responsible for the beautiful look on a lot of the projects that they have done. So here's 3 pictures of Tim and Joachim. This is actually meant to mirror, I'll show you. When we put Inlandish together, we laid it out similarly. And so you can see the 2 gatefolds are very similar there. They both have 3 pictures. And this came out just gorgeously as well. And they both have a really nice matte or mattish finish as well. So back to the inside, 3 pictures of Tim and Joachim. We've got our liner notes here. Tim's are just a tad longer than Joachim's, which I think is 1 brief sentence down there at the bottom. As usual, Tim and Joachim are at the, we'll say, opposite ends of the word count spectrum. And then the credits over here, etc. and so forth. These pics are in spot gloss as well, so they look really cool. I do get asked sometimes, Russ, is it true that there are Easter eggs in all Curious music releases? And the answer is yes, it is true. In fact, this one might have 2 Easter eggs in it. So you'll have to see. And one of them is super hard. Another one is fairly easy. In fact, I would call it more of a reference or homage, in this case, to the cluster album Zuckerzeit. So I'll say the first person who can tell me what that reference is and the first person who can find the other Easter egg, email me at Russ at curiousmusic.us, and I'll give you a free shirt. the first one of each of those. So that's what the gatefold looks like. Fantastic. I should have mentioned already that this release in this project is our first actual partnership with Groenland Records in Berlin. They're well known for fantastically curating the catalogs of Harmonia and Neu and Michael Rother's solo work. They do such wonderful work, and we're really honored to be working with them, and that they have asked us to work on this project with them. So it is just fantastic, and thank you to Groenland and the folks in Berlin. So that's that. Let's take a look at the beautiful vinyl. So it comes in really nice polyaligned black liner there. So this is side A, or side 1, and then here, side 2, and then yes, there's 3 or 4. It's in black 180-gram vinyl, and the CDs, the CD covers are aligned with each of the 4 sides of the vinyl. So there's a correlation and symmetry there to that. And once again, a tip of the Curious hat to Sebastian, who came up with a lot of those ideas, and he has such a wonderful eye for putting all of this together that it's just incredible. So in a nutshell, that's what the vinyl looks like. It comes with a signed art print, also completed by Sebastian and signed by Tim and Joachim. I happen to have one here that is not numbered, but the ones in the records are numbered. Beautiful too. So that comes in the package as well. And they're available as a standalone CD, a 4-pack CD, and in the case of the vinyl, they come with different bundles, and we have a limited amount of 20th anniversary Lunz special shirts. They're black. I don't have them yet. That's how hot off the presses they are. But there are images of those on the Curious website, so check those out as well. But before I let you go, I do want to talk for a moment about these beautiful CDs that Sebastian designed. These are designed from scratch, these covers. Sebastian used a basic Lunz idea, and then he really went to town, or I should say went to the country, because there are these very rural visual sources here, but look, they're just gorgeous. Look at that. So here's one. The inside is the same, spread out over 3 panels. They're very nice. We used a Polish company called Monotype Pressing for the last 3 or 4 Curious releases, and I'm really happy with them. We choose the eco packs that don't have any plastic, so there's no jewel cases on them, and the CD's right in there, and they have a really good, nice, smooth, matte feel. And each of these also has spot gloss on the moth and the Lunz oval, and it really pops on the CDs. It just, as Tim said, it looks like the moth is flying over the images on the CD cover, and that is true. So I'm going to get this totally wrong, but I'm going to give it a try. So there's the Azure cover. I'm sure I said that correctly. My English degree at work, not. Azure is how that's spelled, if not pronounced. And then we have emerald, an emerald color here. And this one is called linen here. And this, I believe, is dandelion. Sebastian's going to tell me I got them wrong, but more or less that's it. So there's the lovely 4-pack. So we have bundles of that as well. And also, just going back to the vinyl for a moment, that comes with a OB. I call them an OB strip, but I'm told they're just called OBs. So here's an OB, that information. Curious Groenland, Lunz 20th Anniversary Edition. And just in closing, a couple special things about the vinyl. Actually, all of them. Tim remastered everything digitally. And there are 2 bonus tracks on both the CD and vinyl versions. One called Iota. I believe that was on maybe 1 or 2 of the issues way back then. But the second bonus track is previously unreleased from the original Lunz sessions. It's called Upper C. And for the life of me, that track is so beautiful. I do not know why it was on the album. I'm sure Tim is wondering that too. So 2 really great bonus tracks. This release is, I'm just super proud of it. And everyone, of course, Tim and Joachim's music, but Sebastian and Marta and our friends at Groenland who partnered with us on this. It's just a fantastic release. And I'm so glad. It wasn't easy. Tim and I have been working on this project for almost 3 years. I find it hard to believe. But even back then, our goal was to get it completed and in the hands of Tim and Joachim for Joachim's festival at More or Less, which is on October 26th and 30th. And as I said, it's in Baden-Baden, Austria. So that was our goal, looking back almost 36 months, and we actually made it to the finish line on time. Hard to believe. Many tears. No, not many tears. But anyway, super happy. I hope you will pick up one or both or whatever. It's a wonderful project. On each Curious Music project, I try to create something that is artistic and meaningful and soulful and as deep as you want to go with it. And I hope for those of you that follow the label that you feel that way. And I would say this project is certainly like that. So thanks so much. I hope my unpacking video influenced you and it wasn't too goofy, and maybe I'll never do another one again. Maybe I will. We'll see. Okay, have a great rest of your day and take care.